So now let's add the real implementation for our create test cycle as well as the write test result method. I'm going to make use of our utilities dbhelper.cs this time. What I'm going to do is I'm going to execute some of the query or the stored procedures. So we already have a method called as execute proc with param dt. So this will actually execute the stored procedure for us, and we have already demonstrated how this execute proc with param dt works and how the code has been written in one of our course in Udemy here, the API and database testing with SpecFlow and C#. So there is a lecture called database testing of API with mock stored procedure. So this is a kind of the same stuff we're going to do here as well. So you can see that there is a database testing for WCF API using SpecFlow and C#, database testing of API with a mock stored procedure. So we have already did the testing for a WCF web service and also the database testing in this particular lecture. This is completely free, so you can enroll and understand how to do a testing of a web service itself in this particular course. So I'm going to make use of the same stored procedure here in our code as well. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to fall back to our service1.svc.cs, and here let me write a try catch block so that you don't have to really end up with the exceptions while it is executed. So let me write that, and let's write a console.write line and say the message here. All right, so we have everything ready right now. So I'm going to create a hash table this time, and let's call this as hash table tables equal to new hash table. Good. Let's add a reference for our hash table. Oops, I'm sorry, I think it is the T small letter. Let's add a reference now, system.collection. Cool. And then let's add some of the parameter to be executed for our actual sp underscore create test cycle id stored procedure. So we know what is the parameter to be passed here in a create test cycle id. It is the AUT name, the executed by, requested by, all these stuffs, right? So that's what I'm going to do. So I'm just going to say table.add of AUT, and the AUT is nothing but our parameter that we are passing in to our create test cycle method right here. So I'm just going to make use of the same thing. Let's copy paste to reduce some of the strokes. And then there is something called as executed by, and then requested by, and build number, and application version, or otherwise called as the app version. And there is something called as machine name. You know what we can do for the machine name? We can just give the environment dot machine name if you want, but if you want to change the implementation, you can always do that as well, so no worries. And then our test type, let's give this as 1 for now. It's a hard-coded value, so you can keep on changing. Again, it's a room for you to extend it. Just gonna add that, and the final thing we need to do is to execute the actual query, right? So for that, the reporting con dot execute proc with param dt. This method is going to execute the stored procedure. So I'm just going to call the sp underscore create test cycle id. So this is the actual parameter, actual stored procedure to be executed. I need to pass the parameters. The parameters is currently available in the hash table, right? So let's call this. Cool. That's it. So this is how you can actually execute a stored procedure using this create test cycle method. And then the final thing we need to do is to write the implementation for our write test result method. So for the sake of time, I have already written the implementation for the write test result. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to paste it right here, and you can see that it's pretty much the same. All I'm trying to do is this. I'm again adding a hash table, and I'm just passing in the data right here with feature name, scenario name, step name, exception, and result. And these are the parameters being coming in to the hash table, and this is the parameters which is going to be go as an input for our sp underscore insert result stored procedures. That's it. Just gonna save it right now. There we go. We're good to go, guys. We are done with implementation of our web service. In the next video, we'll talk about how to consume this particular web service in our client and insert the result using the client. Thank you.